If you like this video, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell icon to get the latest update.
Let me just start sharing my screen and we can talk about very high level things. The purpose of this session obviously is to give a very high level intro, and with intro what I would like is probably give very quick intro about me as well, and then we will talk about around quick intro from everyone and what they expect from the training. Like Richard mentioned, you can come off mute if you have any questions, and if you are not comfortable there, you can always use the chat option. All right, let's get started. So a little bit of introduction about me. So I'm Raj, and I've been in the industry of HCM, Workday, SAP HCM from last 13-14 years in the market, and have been working in multiple projects, multiple global projects across the globe. Worked on a lot of implementations, support projects, enhancements, mergers and acquisitions in modules like HCM, absence, time tracking, compensation, performance, recruiting, payroll. All these modules I've worked on, and integrations as well. So within Workday, I have a fair bit of experience. From last few years, I've been working as an independent consultant as well, and a trainer as well. I have provided training across the globe as well, to a batch of 50 people, 60 people as well at the max. So I would be taking on this complete session initially, end to end, and one of the objectives or the way I work is, I love talking about real world scenarios. I would like to give you real world knowledge as well, so that you can probably think of certain things which are useful, right? So in terms of the objective of the training, what I would like you to have is, first, very good understanding of HCM in detail about the functional areas, and then we will talk about Workday as well. So that is how we will have the training. We'll have materials provided, we'll have everything which we need, and it's going to be very interactive as well. Feel free to ask any question which you feel like it's basic, right? I know every trainer says that you should be interactive, but the objective of the training for me is you should get a value out of the training. If I just talk about the slides and about the coursework, then you can do it from somewhere else as well. But what value we need to add is your understanding and your clarity of thoughts, right? That is important. So that's how the training would be driven. That's pretty much it from an intro perspective. All right, so that's going to be good for you for kind of relating as well. So yeah, everyone is having a different kind of experience, and that's where these kind of trainings are helpful, because you will learn a lot from each other as well, the kind of questions you're going to ask as well. All right, so if you see the kind of the attendees here in the training, we have people having experience in SAP HCM, which is kind of one of the original modules. For those of you who are not aware, so HR technology, right? HR tech, just a very high level, because I have people from different backgrounds. I want to give certain perspective as well, because I want to make sure everyone's aligned and everyone is understanding things, right? I'll be speaking certain things which you might have already experienced or aware, but obviously I need to cater to everyone. But I'll ensure that, considering the varying experience of people, someone having .NET experience, someone having Workday trainings, someone having experience working with people, how do we kind of navigate the career, right? And there are different flavors to it as well, right? Someone might be very much good in the IT side of things, and someone might be very good in the process side of things. So that's where you have to leverage your experience and knowledge, and understand things, learn things. And in the HR technology space, right, for those of you who are not aware, PeopleSoft was one of the original, I would say, HR solutions which was there in the market, SAP HCM. So it was from SAP, a German company. And these were the kind of the two HR solutions which were there in the market. So if there was any company in the world, these guys were using either SAP HCM or Oracle or some customized solution, right? So they were using either SAP HCM in detail, which is a very strong HR technology solution, and PeopleSoft was also there, right? So these were the two solutions which were there in the market, and every company was using it. Now the challenges was with these solutions was the UI, the user experience was not good, right? You just compare it with the any latest social media application. For example, if you compare the UI of Instagram versus someone back in any older social media platform like Orkut or Facebook as well, if you see, so now you can see there is a difference, right? So Workday HCM, Workday HR, Workday solution was made by the people who are the who are actually working with PeopleSoft. So Anil Bhusri was the key person. Uh, he understood the pain areas, and that's where Workday as a solution was built on in 2000s. So that was in 2005 and 6, and obviously, if you guys know, 2008 was a big crazy time for everyone, and for Workday as a solution, even though it was crazy they were going on, it was such a strong solution. Between 2008 to 2014, they were able to capture a lot of big clients, right? So Workday as a solution was growing big time, and the kind of solutions which they provided, the kind of UI experience which they provided was super amazing. Primarily the objective of the Workday as a solution was to cater to US organizations, but now they have moved on and they have people, they have companies and clients in across the globe. Almost every big Fortune 500 client is with them. So they have very big clients. They have Netflix, they have Dell, they have Siemens, they have Salesforce, they have Visa, they have Adobe, they have Citibank. Name it, they have it, right? They have Amazon with them, they have Walmart Labs with them. So they are pretty huge right now, and the market is very, very big for them, right? So, and a lot of big clients, I would say, have moved across, right? Right now as well, there are a lot of companies moving from their original HR tech solution to a new one, right? So like in Venkatesh's organization, right? From what I understand is there is a transition happening. He being a SAP tech guy and ABAPer. So ABAPer is SAP ABAP is a language which is used to code and modify SAP, depending on what is needed, right? So there are the transitions as well happening where a company is moving out of existing HCM solution to a new solution, which is Workday. So right now in the market, for your knowledge, Workday HCM is the number one HR solution application available in the market, right? So why they are number one, right? Why you can see a job which is giving a good billing rate, which is very good, is number one, the UI, the experience, the overall solution is pretty amazing, and it's a SaaS based application. For those of you who are not aware, SaaS based application, software as a service, in simple words, it is based on a subscription and it is centrally hosted, right? SaaS based application is as simple as your Instagram or any other website. Imagine that in your mind, right? So it is just a software which is for which you don't have to maintain. You just have to talk to Workday. You are telling them, I need the Workday HR solution, and please ensure I have the right information. And you can use a browser, you can use a web browser, you can connect through their website, and that's it, right? You can directly use it. Now why it is very intuitive and very fast is, initially back then with PeopleSoft, with SAP HCM, you had people working for database as well, right? database is something, just for storing the information, right? So there were connections between database, there were people managing the database, there were people, making sure the database connection with the solution is connected, right? But now with Workday, you don't have to worry about that, right? The world is going fast, everything is going quicker. With Workday HCM as well, you don't have to worry about the data. What you need is login ID and password and an internet connection. That's it. That's it. You need to handle Workday HCM for the organization. You don't have to worry about, database connections because they are taking care. You don't have to worry about additional securities because they are taking care. So it is as simple as opening a website in your browser and using it for, you know, development as an end user, right? So it is as simple as that. And that's where Workday in the market is kind of very hot in the market, and they have captured a lot of big clients. Now, Workday as an organization personally has moved, you know, really, really good. They're really able to capture the market. They are able to, look at everything which is, primarily Fortune 500 focused. But right now, Workday, since they have captured a majority of them, now their focus is shifting towards smaller organizations. So that's where the market is pretty huge. There are people, there are still the companies which are transitioning. There are still, a lot of companies which are using their custom-based solutions, right? Uh, so that's where the overall market is there for you to get into this, right? And to understand how exactly, Workday HCM is going on. You know, this might be, very easy for some of the folks as well, and it might take a little bit of understanding as well. But that's where I'm there, and I'll try to link it with very, very simple concepts, because I do understand we have people from varying background. But if you have just the right attention, the training, and you're able to, you know reach out for any questions, that should be good. You should be having a very good exposure towards it. And that's my objective of the training as well, right? I want to make sure if you are investing your time, valuable time, if you're spending your valuable dollars with me, with us, then we will ensure that you get the right kind of knowledge as well. So that's the objective of the training, and that's where we'll talk about certain things. You already should have the LMS with all the available tabs. Please go through that, by the next session as well, and we'll surely talk about, the overall options available. You will have all the materials available, what all things we will cover in the session, the slides, the coursework, the tenant access. And by tenant access, I mean, for those of you who are not aware, by tenant access means Workday application access, because slowly but surely I want people to do hands-on activities as well. I want you to experience it, right? Imagine the first time when you were opening Instagram, right? Experiencing the things, just clicking there, how to put on stories, how to put on that. Imagine the first time you used Uber app, right? Obviously you were using it for the first time. You might have done, so there are navigations available, right? So that's what I want you to do as well. If you have not been experiencing with Workday, right, you should be having good amount of understanding initially that how it looks like. Yeah. All right. So that's the objective. I'll probably take, very high level 15-20 minutes with you, to just to go give an overview. But before that, if you have any questions, don't worry about any of the thought process that it's going to be you know what people will think. It's not like that. Depending on your experience, and skills might vary big time. So don't think that if you are feeling that you're lagging behind, you're not able to understand, just reach out and ask the right questions, and we will try to get it completed as well. So you would have everything possible for you in terms of the skills and capabilities to learn, and that's where we are there to help. I'm just sharing my screen. I'll talk about very high level concepts today, just to get a feel of things, so that you are aware of, certain areas which are, very basic. And the next time what I'll do is, get you a login as well and show you that, how exactly the Workday screen looks like, right? Let me share my screen and we can go about it. Just sharing my screen. It should not be too heavy today because we,
Excuse me, Ross.
yeah, Vijay,
Uh, uh, because I don't have any experience, so that's why you just need to go slowly, please. Then
for
I can
sure,
understand easily.
for sure. Don't worry. And that's where, I'll reiterate certain things. Uh, Let me give you my example. When I started career back in 2007 and 8, with SAP HCM,
Mhm.
worst of the worst timings, right? That time as well, I was pretty new and I was not having any experience, right? But the way I took it was, just keep it in chunks because, uh, in terms of understanding, you might have, you know, a very fresh perspective to things as well. So I will keep it slow for sure. And we will kind of link it with certain topics as well, which are kind of giving you very good understanding. For example, if I'm talking about something, I'll probably relate it with something real world so that you are able to grasp it, right? So that is the
Okay.
objective. And don't worry that if you have experience or not, now everyone
Okay.
is equal in the training. I'll ensure that you have the right thought provoking questions as well. That's where I noted down everyone's experience as well. It would be always the case when you're learning something new, right? Remember the first time
Mhm.
you learned driving and you did something, right? So it is
Mhm.
an experience and learning. Don't worry about that.
Thank you.
I'm sharing the PPT. That's right, I was about to. And thanks for that. Hope you're able to see the screen by now. Till the time from the previous times I was not sharing, I was just giving uh a very high level overview, but hope you're able to see the screen now, guys. If you can confirm that you are able to
Yeah.
see the screen. Awesome.
Yes, we can see that.
Awesome.
Yes, we can.
Awesome. All right. So what we will talk about very high level today is, just very, very, very basic core concepts. I don't want to give too much of information and, kind of giving and confusing you. But what I would like you to have is, just a feel of things and something thought provoking from your mind, if you are able to, relate with HCM, right? Before doing that, since some people have limited experience, HCM is human capital management, right? How do you manage human capital? How do you manage the people? What is human capital? The people in the organization. How do you manage that, right? In an organization, there would be people working in the organization, right? And they would need certain things, right? They need HR system to do day-to-day activities, right? They should have, company profiles. They should have, you know uh, details about them updated in the organization, right? They should have all the right things which they need for the processing of, their payroll, their compensation. They should have access to benefits. They should have access to absence. They should be able to apply DTO, PTOs, leave of absence, right? So all these things, anything and everything related to HR, for the people in the IT side, for the organization, is related to HR tech. And what is Workday HCM in there? Workday obviously is it a typical very strong SaaS HR tech application. So Workday is one of the HR applications which is there in the market, which is very strong. And HCM is human capital management, which is the core foundation. For those of you who know SAP, it is PA and OM modules. It is the foundation. It's personal administration and organization management. It is primarily focused towards making sure we have the right kind of setup in the organization to build it, right? You should have. So this is the foundation which you can think of Workday HCM, right? So Workday Foundation is primarily driven by Workday HCM. If you are implementing Workday in your organization, if the organization is having Workday, then you should have number one, Workday HCM in the system. You should have Workday HCM being set up, because this is the primary one where you define certain things which are very much specific to the core foundations. And as we go on, you learn more about it. Moving on. Now, before going through the content, a little disclaimer. These are obviously very much specific to ZaranTech's property. You cannot copy it and share it across. You'll have the access, but please ensure you follow all the rules as well in terms of the copyrights. All right. The objective of the training, primarily we'll go through the, very high level overview. We'll talk about business objects, basic navigations, and landing page. And don't worry that, these might sound a little bit of daunting for people who are doing it for the first time. We will keep the training very open and you can ask the right questions. Don't worry that, if it's over, we won't cover it, right? We will ensure that we are able to relate to certain topics, right? And in every training, what I do is I give a recap of the previous training as well, just a quick refresher so that you are able to relate to the previous session as well. So don't worry about that. It might be a little bit of, I would say, multiple thought processes coming in for you, which might be, helpful as well. If it's comfortable, then it's not good. If it's uncomfortable in life, then it's good for you because you are learning something. It will take a certain amount of challenges as well, right? So we will do that and we will talk about everything in the system as well, right? Now I'll talk about very basic things, don't worry too much, but these are the core concepts or the core terms which are there in Workday HCM. I just want you to know just the name of that and what do they mean, nothing else, right? The basic core conversation is supervisory organization. Now, supervisory organization, like you can think of, is an organization, right? It is the foundation. What it is, in simple terms, it's nothing but, it is a type of organization which groups people into one. For example, you are working in the manufacturing department, then manufacturing can be a supervisory organization, right? You are working in the sales department, then sales is one of the supervisory organizations. Now imagine your company, imagine a structure where CEO is sitting at the top. CEO is having 5 key people under him or her, which is having CFO, which is having CTO, which is having, sales head, marketing head, all those things, right? Below that, there are different managers, there are different people, there are different teams. So overall structure of the organization, you define using supervisory organization, right? As simple as that. It is nothing but it is a bucket where you define that these people belong to these teams. So department can be one of that, sales can be one of that, your company might be into research, there would be a research team, there could be a team working on, the security of the organization, then there could be an admin team, right? And these teams, these areas or these buckets are called supervisory organization, as simple as that. Then every company might have, different cost associated with it, right? So for those of you who are not aware of cost centers, as an organization, you try to tag the billing or the rates of the people for the payroll processing, right? A marketing department might have their own cost center that they get a specific budget and they want to use within that budget, right? A sales team might have their own, a research team might have their own. So every team might have their own cost centers, and cost centers are nothing but, a structure of different organizations whose primary objective is to make sure the billing or the costing happens correctly. So there could be 2 structures now in the organization. One is the normal organization structure, and one could be a structure which is cost center, which is telling that, okay, CEO is having one cost center. So whatever transaction you are doing, for example, you are in the sales team, right? You're moving from one place to another, right? You're moving from Chicago to, Texas or anywhere else in the world, right? whatever costing you are doing, whatever you are charging from the organization for your bills and everything, or whatever salary you are getting, whatever compensation what you're getting, right? Everything is tagged under a cost center. So cost center can have their own structure as well, right? Which can be very different from the usual structure. Your company might have different departments, which are called organizations, the normal supervisory organizations, but there could be cost centers which are also there. But primarily, if you see from your objective things, supervisory organization is the place where people are tagged, and it is the overall hierarchy of the organization. It is telling you that which team belongs to which team belongs to which team, and all that. So that's one. And the second one obviously is, the cost center, but you don't have to worry about it. I just gave a little bit of background that what is cost center. We'll talk about it in the future slides only, don't worry. Now, staffing model is, how do you staff people? For those of you who are aware of, HR processes, you hire people, right? You have an organization, you will hire people in the organization, right? Then how different jobs and positions, because if someone is getting into your organization, a fresh candidate, right, they should need a job profile. That what is the profile of the person? Imagine that you are owning a company. Imagine a real world scenario where you have a company, right, where you are there as the boss and you are telling, now we need 5 people. Now, to have those 5 people in your company, in the HR solution, in the Workday solution, you should have the positions for them, that where exactly they are joining, right? In under which manager they are joining, or which supervisory organization they are joining. And within that, what is the position, right? If someone is joining as a manager, if someone is joining as an intern, right? And what is the job profile, what is the nature of the job of the person, right? So you need to define all this, then only you can hire, right? And to define all this, we have staffing models, right? Staffing model is nothing but how do you define the hiring of the people. Now, very high level, there are two ways of handling the staffing. Very high level, I'll talk about. One is position management and one is job management. We will talk about it later, that what is position management and what is job management. So there are two ways of handling the staffing, the joining of the people, right? The overall process. But you have to understand is, what is supervisory organization. That supervisory organization is nothing but a structure for the organization where people, are there from the top to bottom. It tells you the overall hierarchy of the organization. That is one. Staffing models is nothing but how do you define different jobs and positions. How do you hire people? What would be, the way they would be hired? And finally, if they are hired, where do you sit, right? They will sit in a supervisory organization. They'll be joining a specific department, right? They'll be joining a sales team, marketing team, and all that. So that's where staffing models are there. And finally, job profiles. Job profiles are nothing but, this tells you what is the nature of the job. Job profile is nothing but, it tells you that what is the name of the job and what is the description of the job. So job profile, imagine, you are applying for a job, you will see the description of the job, right? That this person should be 7 years of experience, having these skills, should be able to mentor people, should be able to, think out of the box and, manage certain things. If the job is technical, it will mention you should know C, C++, Java, .NET, whatever, right? So job profile is nothing but the overall generic features of the job and of a position that is built off a profile. So it will tell you what is the role, right? So imagine HR system, right? You should have a job profile already set up as well in the organization so that you can hire different type of people. My job profile might be, HR technology manager, right? My job profile is HR technology manager, where I'm managing HR technology stuff, right? But someone joining next to me might have a different job profile. That person might be a salesperson, right? So his or her profile might be sales manager, right? So these are the different things which you have to think. I won't deep dive into it because it's the very first session, but very high level, these are very basic core concepts. So if I'll talk about supervisory organization in future, you should be aware that what is it, right? It is nothing but a structure. It is just a unit of the overall structure. Imagine supervisory organization as your office, department, the team, right? And it varies from a company to company, that how do they define that. So supervisory organization is nothing but a structure. uh, Staffing models are the ways we hire people using different jobs and positions, and finally hiring to a supervisory organization. And job profiles just tells you very high level what is the nature of the job. Okay. All right. uh, Let me give you one last overall basic information before we wrap up the session. uh, Compensation, these are very basic terms used in the industry. These are not just Workday specific. Compensation is nothing but compensation packages, grade profiles. So if you talk about anyone's overall compensation, right, that they're getting $150,000, right, how that is defined. If it's 120,000 fixed, 30,000 is variable, how much is going to their bonus, yearly bonus, how much is different compensation plans given to them. For example, they get car allowance, they get fuel allowance, they will get additional allowances, all that, the overall package, the overall compensation which a person gets, right? Everything, whatever is defined, is used with the term of compensation. Anything and everything which is related to what the person is earning, right, from the company will be tagged as compensation, and the payout of that is payroll. Okay. So compensation is, imagine a person joining a department, new department, as a manager. His compensation is $200,000. Out of that, 150,000 is fixed, 25,000 is variable, rest 25,000 is divided between different allowances for him or her, right? Language allowance, travel allowance, whatever. So that is the simple term compensation. Okay. Now security or security group. So within Workday, if you want to define someone to do something, they will tell you that we should give security, right security to that person. Security is nothing but the access to that person. For example, me being a HR manager, I should have the right security to access my team member's profile, right? That is one. Someone being a CEO should have all the accesses for everyone's profile. But me being a manager for my team, I can access my team's information, but I cannot access any other team's information. I should not be having the access to view the sales team's data. I should not have the access to run a report to know that who all are on maternity, paternity, or a medical leave. I'm not the right person because I'm just a team member who's managing the team. So depending on the people's role, you will have different security accesses. Some people might have access to update anyone's information, some people might not have. For example, in your organization, if you have worked previously, if you enter your HR solution, you will have access only to certain things and not for everything, right? So that is the variation which is there in between. All right. Lastly, what is business process? These are just the basic terms. Business process is nothing but the overall sequence of events. If someone is, for example, you are applying for a sick time off, you're not well, you are just taking one day off to rest and relax. You are going to your Workday screen, you are clicking on, sick time off on, you know, the date 20th of April, 19th of April. You're just clicking on that date and submitting it. Then after that, whatever happens is defined by a business process. If someone is requesting a sick time off, should it go to the manager? Yes. If we define that, it will go to the manager. After the manager, it should go to the HR or not? No. Then it's over. The process is over. Let's say you are requesting for a for a transfer, for example, right? then what should happen? You have requested the transfer. It should go to the HR manager. Then after that, it should go to the new manager who is receiving you in the new team. Then it should go to, the compensation team, so that they are aware that you're moving out of California and you're moving to a different state, right? So all these things, all the sequence of events, all the people involved is defined using the term business process. So business process is nothing but, if you are initiating any event, what all should happen, who all should be the participants, and what should be the sequence of multiple events. That is a business process. For example, if you are requesting a maternity, paternity, or a long medical leave in the organization, that business process might be very different from a normal sick time off. You are taking just one day off, just the manager approval is more than enough, or automatically it gets approved. But if you're going for a sabbatical, if you're going to 8 months of leave, 10 months of leave, then overall business process will vary, right? It will be varying based on different participants involved. So that's pretty much it. I wanted to cover very basic things today. Before wrapping up the session, if you have any questions, we can surely talk about it, because I wanted to give a very high level overview.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. I am from a medical background. So, do you think people from a medical background will be able to do this course?
Okay, can you share a little bit of background about your what all have you done from a medical background? Were you working on IT side of things?
I was a rehabilitation psychologist in India.
Okay.
So yeah, we got settled here in US. So I was very much inclined because one of my cousins had done a course in Workday. She's been telling me from past like 2-3 months, why don't you go ahead with this? As it doesn't require much of coding and all. So I just want to make sure before enrolling the course that will I be able to do this course or not?
Sure. So it varies based on the people. Like I said, it will require obviously a good understanding of the topics which I've just covered, right? Just the basics, overall how HR system works, right? It varies big time. How exactly though? If you can go on mute, that would be helpful. I can hear some background as well.
Yeah, I'm unmuted only.
Yeah, if you can mute, that would be wonderful. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So what I was telling was, see, your experience, imagine yourself as a fresher. If you have a medical background, you have to unlearn and relearn. If you try to relate with medical background or a different background, it might be difficult. But if you have the right amount of zeal to learn, it should not be a big problem. But obviously it is varying from everyone's comfort level as well. So what we will talk about here is HR technology, HR solutions, and different navigations. It will require you to go to a certain screen, go to some actions, update that and modify that, right? So it requires certain amount of obviously understanding of the system, but it varies. If you really ask me, can you do it? For sure you can do it if you really want to, but it will require additional efforts as well. It's not like that it's going to be easy. It won't be easy like someone moving from SAP HCM or someone having HR experience. They might be much more comfortable, or someone having a fresh experience, they are very new, right? That might be a bit easier for someone. For you it can for sure happen. It's not like that it cannot happen, but you have to let go of the medical experience. You have to think purely from the scratch, and then you can learn. Now the second part of the question is coding, right? So within Workday, there are two types of roles. And for those of you who know SAP, it is, obviously the functional roles, which is, Workday functional. And there are technical roles, which is, in SAP, they used to call SAP ABAPers. Here we call Workday integrations. Integrations, whoever is the technical person, they kind of manage the connections between your system and other systems, your HR Workday solution with other systems. But now your solution, if I talk about your specific one, right, within Workday integrations are the people who do the real coding and perform the logics of different calculations. You being a Workday functional, you might be working on certain complex things which require you to think of certain conditions like if else and all those things. Little bit, it's not hardcore coding, it's just the basic level of skills. But if you are working as Workday support person and Workday analyst, Workday support person, then it should not be a big problem. Reason being, you have to do with transactions only. So depending on the role which you are, it can be very much comfortable and very much challenging as well. I won't sugarcoat it. It varies big time. So after the training, if you enroll that, you have to find the right kind of job as well, because the jobs vary big time. Someone can request for a Workday support person, right? Workday analyst, Workday manager, right? Some of you who have much more experience, right, been in the industry for 20 years, your role might be to manage a team, right? If you're very new, your role might be to configure things. If you are joining an organization where you have to support things, your role might be just related to transactions only. So it varies big time depending on the role, because some person can be managing just the data, some person can be managing just the uh, Workday functional changes, or some experts manage everything end to end. So it is not that it's going to be I would say in simple terms easy, but it can be done, and you have to identify the right kind of job as well. If you have the right understanding and if you're putting in the effort, then by the end of the training you will have a good overview of Workday HCM, and you can tell in the market, okay, I know these things, I can support these things, I can manage these things. And obviously Workday is an ocean, right? It is it is never ever, beat any system in the world, it's not going to be like if you have done the training then everything is over, because Workday will also give new updates. You will have to, little bit of learning is required, and then you can go ahead. So for every job you have to learn as well, right? In the future as well Workday might change certain things, but the good part would be you have already the basic understanding, right? So that is how I see to it. If you really ask me, it is obviously at individuals comfort level as well. Imagine the first time when you are learning something new, that's how it's going to take here as well. And the market also is varying, the job complexity and the dollars will vary depending on complexity. If it's more complex, it requires more effort, it will be more number of dollars with your hours or the paycheck. If it's a basic job, if it's just the basic level, the bare minimum, the dollars will vary. So the market is open, I would say. uh, be it Workday, be it SAP, every possible I would say uh, technology will have a different market share, but Workday being a growing one, there are much better opportunities and much better salaries associated. So all right, so that was pretty much an overall I would say overview. So we talked about how exactly Workday HCM came into the picture, and very basic things about Workday, that it is the Instagram of HR technology. If you really ask me, I use this term in my every trainings because the UI is easier and it is easier to manage. It doesn't require a lot of efforts. I can see one more hand up. Bhavanti, if you have any question, please go ahead.
Yeah. I have two questions. Do you provide placement service?
ZaranTech support, Richard, you can answer that one offline if you want to. We can surely go through that. For any questions, feel free to reach out to the email. Richard or someone, if you can share the email address, our info at ZaranTech, that would be helpful.
Yeah, I'm just sharing that.
Yep.
Okay, one more question.
Sure.
The class schedule is from Monday to Friday, 2 to 3 hours, right?
Right.
But as I heard that Friday we won't be able to work on tenant. So what we will be doing on Friday?
So Friday, because see, we have a lot of topics as well. It won't be always hands-on, Bhavanti. We will try to navigate, and my sessions would be, I'll give you slides, I'll show you the tenants. You will have to do assignments. We'll talk about it. Right. So Friday, the objective might vary depending on the training. We might cover certain basic concepts because not always you have to do hands-on, because it requires understanding of the things as well. Right. So we will navigate through the trainings, obviously, depending on this thing, because every Friday, obviously, like Saturday, there is a refresh of the tenants as well. Right. Workday does a refresh. So that's where we will try to do it from a logic perspective. We will try to learn certain topics and then kind of cover the next hands-on in the upcoming session. So that is how we will try to navigate. This is not the first time which we try to do that. We will have obviously the slides to cover to go on.
On Saturday, Sunday is no class, right?
Yep. We'll share this overall schedule with you, with everyone, because I need to check everything, and we'll surely share the schedule of overall training, that how do we look at everyone's availability and confirmation. But primarily, like you said, Monday to Friday is the way we want to drive things. I can see Neelima as well having one question.
Hey, Raj. First of all, I want to thank you how you're encouraging everyone like who are newbies and trying to make us feel comfortable with the course. I want to thank you for that.
Sure.
My question is like I was just doing some research on Workday HCM consultant jobs, right? Every job I see, I haven't seen any for like any job with zero experience or a fresher experience. I even went on Workday website and they're hiring new graduate students who are like currently in the program. Like people like us, we're not in any graduate program right now. So my question is like, for example, I can get a Scrum Master certification or some other certification and I can apply in a company. But for Workday, unless you get a job, you won't be able to get a certificate. So you have to be hired first, even before you get certified. And without certification, you cannot prove. So like, what is the hope for me?
That is a very good question, Neelima, and that's very amazing that you did certain research. So not everyone in the market is Workday certified consultant, because one training requires a lot of dollars. If I am certified in 7 different modules, it requires me to go to Pleasanton, Chicago, their headquarters, attend 5 days of training by Workday folks and get certified, get trained, and you have to pass and update, right? So if you really ask me, the market tells you Workday certified is a plus, but it's not. In future, if you get an opportunity, once you join an organization to get certified, that would be the amazing thing. But to answer your question, in the market, there are both type of people who are certified and not, and they can get the job depending on how strong they are. That's number one. Now talking about the second one, how to enter the market, that's the challenging part. In general, sadly, in every tech job, what people do is, if you are a fresher, you are able to get a job immediately, or kind of show that you are able to get that. If you have a gap or experience in a different domain, right, you have to prepare your CV. You have to think of how do you navigate and how do you show that you have the right skills, because initially you might be at par or equal with a fresher, but as soon as you get into the job, it is those experiences which also add on to your CV. And once you get one job, then you have the right experience to take it on. So obviously I do understand this pain area where you have a gap, and for a job there is an experience required. But try to show this training, try to do some hands-on trainings. You can say that you have done certain freelancing, you have supported certain things. So that's how people try to get the jobs, but it, like you said, it is a bit difficult for someone who's having a gap to enter the market, but not impossible, right? Everyone just needs a start, and then it's pretty good, right? And regarding the training, obviously don't worry too much about it, because once you get into the market, it's not a mandate to have you certified. For example, in SAP HCM, where people used to say is that you should be certified, but now in the market, your certification is not that much important. You can be non-certified, but still you are there in the market. So it's not a mandate, it's more of a good to have kind of a thing, Neelima.
Yeah, like we don't have the certificate, but at least to show like similar experience, what kind of background work I can do. Like I'm willing to do volunteering, I'm willing to do some freelance work. But when I enter the market, I want to put my strong foot forward. And be in the interview like, oh, I can't get a better person than her, I want to hire her, I want to be like that. Like what kind of background work I can do while I'm taking the training?
Sure. Anything and everything related to HR, HR solutions, HR technology, HR certifications, basic level of HR understanding. Go to LinkedIn, find different courses, learn anything which is related to HR. That should be a good add-on for your CV there, where you can tell, okay, you have good amount of background about HR, you know how to manage people, you did certain HR related activities in your previous organizations. Now you have learned Workday HCM. You are certified in these basic HR tech, basic things, and now you want to enter the market, right? So obviously it is a difficult one, but to get into that, and to get into a new job in any other technology as well, you'll have to answer the same things, right? It's not like that any other job you'd be able to say, okay, you are a .NET developer, a Java developer, and you can go into the market right away, right? But with Workday, you can show HR experience and HR kind of a background as an add-on with you, where you can use that, so these kind of freelancing or these kind of activities, anything and everything related to HR would be wonderful.
Okay, thank you so much, Raj.
Sure. Vijaya, you have any question?
Yes, Raj.
Yeah.
See, so as I said, I don't have any experience in HR department a lot. So is if I completed Workday HCM in ZaranTech, right? See, ZaranTech will give me any normal or see, as Neelima is asked like that. So is there any not like a certificate? At least okay, we finished in ZaranTech. This was Workday HCM, right? So
Right.
how would I show to the other in interviews or any other companies? Will they allow me to do interviews or something?
Will they allow you to do what?
Interview. So if I don't have any certificate or any proof of that, I
So
finished
yeah,
this
I'll tell
HCM.
you will get a certificate course completion, if I'm not wrong. And see, the market tells you that until and unless you are employed with a Workday partner or Workday client, you cannot get a Workday certification, the actual Workday certification, which is $3,000 and additional trainings, right? To get that, obviously you will have to be in an organization, but to get into organization you need to have this thing, right? You need to have certain knowledge, right? It's not that only certified people get the job. I know people in the market who are not certified and earning more money than the certified folks, right? So to answer your question, you will get a course completion certificate, but your input and your experience also matters, that you are how do you are showing your experience overall end to end, right? In terms of navigating, it will be it will be totally up to you that how do you show that you did certain work previously, you don't have HR experience, but you want to get into Workday, you have these many skills right now, you want to try and get an initial entry level job, and then you can navigate within that organization, then you can try to get certified if required. But being certified is not a mandate. Initially when SAP was there as well, people were saying only certified people can work, but not like that now. If you have the right knowledge and you can tell, okay, you got certified by this organization, then you can tell, okay, you have the knowledge, right? Because at then what matters is skills, right? An MBA versus someone who did online course, right? If the person who did an online course knows better than an MBA, right, and is able to prove it, then he or she can get the job, right? That it's exactly similar to that,
I got it. Thank you.
Yep. All right. If you don't have any questions, then we can wrap up the session. Like I said, you can obviously go to info@zarantech.com to and you will get all the answers regarding everything which you asked. Feel free to drop an email to them, to my team, and where we will respond immediately or as early as feasible to answer all the questions with respect to the schedule, the class, everything possible which you have. You can think about it and get back to us. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate your time as well, and give it a thought. I'm not selling it. I'm not for selling. I have a passion for training. Give it a thought that what is good for you, from an understanding perspective, and if it makes sense for you as well. Because for every job initially, if you're starting as a new person, these are the challenges or these are the questions which you need to answer, right? So just think about it from your perspective. Just look at the market, how exactly the jobs are there as well, and talk to your peers as well to understand how they navigate it through. That would be wonderful to give you a different perspective rather than mine. And we will surely connect very soon with the next session for those of you who confirm the training. Thank you so much, guys. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Thank you for attending the session. I hope you all enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Also, feel free to ask your questions in the comment section below, and we will reply to them at the earliest.